So you're thinking about moving to Bend, or maybe Sisters, or maybe Redmond, or Lapine, or Prineville, or somewhere else, somewhere in between here in Central Oregon. You want to know the current state of the market here in Central Oregon, whether it be Bend, or Prineville, or Sisters, or Redmond. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video. We just completed quarter number 3 of 2023. Unbelievable how fast the year's gone by. We're in Q4 now. We're getting it started. We're going to be talking about the state of the market here in Bend and Central Oregon right now. So if this video sounds like it's for you, stick around. We're getting started right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, working, playing, the state of the market here in Bend and Central Oregon, then subscribe to the channel. Tap that notification bell below so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Bend and Central Oregon. My name's Ryan and I've lived in Bend for over 30 years. My business partner, Zach, and I, we get calls and texts every day from people just like you looking for help on making their smooth move to Bend or somewhere else in Central Oregon. And we absolutely love what we do. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days or 180 days, it doesn't matter to us. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even set up a Zoom meeting. We'd be happy to help you make that smooth move to Bend or anywhere else here in Central Oregon. So let's get started in today's video. We're talking about the current state of the market. It is October now. That means that we are in quarter number 4 of the calendar year. I cannot believe how fast this year's gone by. It seems like each and every year, the year just goes by faster and faster and faster. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's age, maybe it's something else, but man, time sure flies. Let me get my face here so you guys can look at my mugshot while we're doing this little overview of the current state of the market. This is our Beacon report here. This comes out every single month. You guys can just go to the Beacon report in the Google search bar and you can find it yourself if you want to take a look at it. But this is a great source of data for Bend and Central Oregon when it comes to housing prices and all the other data that's associated with buying and selling real estate residential here in the Central Oregon area. So we see that we are dated at 10/7 here. This is just the date that the report came out, but this has data dating back all the way through the last 36 or so months. So if we look at the latest report and the latest data on where we're at currently in the market, we see that Bend's median home price really hasn't budged all that much. It just went up a little bit. So it's $750,000 for a median home price in Bend right now as of this recording in the month of October, and it's just a little bit up of where it was the month before. But if you look, basically the last 5 months we've been teetering right around $750, and we had one little shoot up to 800,000 there for 2 months or so, and then we kind of came back down. So that's kind of the baseline right now. That's subject to change, of course. Every month is going to be different. That data is based off of what we're able to see below the number of sales. We had 136 sales in Bend last month. Okay. And so you can see here 141 in July, 156 in August, and then 135 that we had in September. So obviously sales are down. The interest rates are higher than they've been in over 20 years. So that's going to keep a lot of buyers on the sidelines right now. That's just the way it is. That's by design. So it's designed to help and promote the idea that prices will come down eventually if they sit on the market for longer than what we're accustomed to over the last couple of years. But if we continue looking on, what we're going to learn is that the median days on market still is relatively short in Bend. So if homes are appropriately priced, they tend to sell and get picked up relatively quickly. We are at 17 days for the last month in September for median days on market. The month before that was 16, and in the summer months it was less because it's just a hotter time and a more active time to be buying and selling real estate in those summer months. So if we look back over the last year or so, we had a stretch in January and February where homes did stay on the market for an extended period of time, on average of 51 days. And so that is unusual. We haven't had that for some time. You can see that this chart goes all the way back to September of 2020. And man, homes just get picked up so quickly here in Central Oregon, Bend primarily speaking, when they come onto the market. So 4 days was just the overwhelming number of days for several months straight, where that was all it took to get a house under contract once it came onto the market there. And so just a crazy statistic right there. And so you can see if we're a little bit more recent, at least we're kind of teetering up a little bit. 17 days is still relatively short when it comes to putting your house up for sale. So if you're selling a home, that bodes well for you. You can expect or at least be hopeful that you're going to get some action on that house if it's appropriately priced. Remember, it's got to be priced at the right spot. So some sellers are going to still kind of have blinders on. They still think that we're in a certain pandemic era when it comes to buying and selling, and they can put their home up for sale 10 or 20 or 30% more than what the actual suggested price point would be, and they're going to get it. Well, they're not going to get it now. That's certainly different in terms of where we're at in the market. If we continue on, building permits have kind of ticked up a little bit too. That's kind of nice to see. 50 building permits in September versus 40 in August and 28 in July, respectively. So building permits have ticked up a little bit. We're seeing that trend pointing upwards. And then if we have this chart here, it's going to talk about cash transactions versus conventional financing or getting financing of some sort. And so what you're going to see here is that what really stands out is 105 as far as finance transactions in the month of August, and now we're all the way down to 76 in September. So you can see here that as interest rates continue to tick up, it's going to put more and more people out of the buying pool for now, for at least the short term. So things that you can do in the meantime is you can stay up to date on your local market. Where are things at? Where are things going? You can prepare yourself by making sure that your finances are in order. And when that time comes for you to make that purchase, when things taper back, when rates come down, because eventually they will come down. We're going to top out at some point. We just don't know when that date is yet, but it's going to happen at some point in hopefully the near future. But right now what we're doing is we're learning what the new baseline is, and we're learning what the new expectations are going to be moving forward for interest rates. So if they're at 8% now, maybe they'll go up to 9%, maybe even beyond that, we don't know. But when they do come back to 7%, to 6%, to 5%, that's going to be where the energy starts to pick up again, because people are going to expect that that's going to be the new low, or at least somewhere near the new low. But it's going to have a sentiment that suggests that, okay, we were once at 8%, we were once at 9%, now we're down to 6% or 7% or 5%, whatever that number is. It's going to create a sentiment that's positive for people wanting to go out and either refinance or purchase a new home. So let's keep on going on down this list here, and we will continue the market update here. Month supply of inventory is 2 months. Bend is very interesting. You can see here, dating back 36 months, that we never really have more than 2 months worth of inventory. And that means whatever is currently on the market, if nothing else did come on the market, starting right now, it would take roughly 2 months approximately for all the current houses that are on the market to be sold. And that's basically what the definition of inventory is as it relates to real estate. Some other statistics there that you may or may not be interested in, but you could look at this here. Median sales price per square foot is $379. And that's going to fluctuate, of course, depending on the size of the home. But right now it's at $379. So if we continue on, that was Bend. Now we're going to go down to Redmond here. Redmond's median home price last month was $506,000, and you can see here the last 3 months it's been at either $500,000 or it's been right around or just above $500,000. And then the months before that, in 2023, we were down as low as $420,000. And then we started our uptick from there. And so that's kind of where everything was in the real estate market. We really bottomed out at, say, 17 to 20% of a pullback or of a correction from the previous all-time highs that we had in 2022. You can see here Redmond's previous all-time high still hasn't been eclipsed yet. And that's one thing that's interesting about Bend versus Redmond, is that Redmond's most recent all-time high was July of 2022 at $542,000 as a median home price. Bend saw its brand new all-time highs at just in the last 3 months at $800,000 and $785,000 in back-to-back months. So Redmond still hasn't seen that, and that's neither here nor there. It really doesn't matter. But that's currently where we're at with price point per home in Redmond, median home price. Days, number of sales, we had 54, of course. Redmond has 36,000 people. Bend has about 105,000 people. So you can expect that there's going to be 3 to 4 times as many sales in Bend as there are in Redmond, but this gives you a good idea as to what the volume of sales per month in the town of Redmond are going to look like. In their peak, it was just over 100 at 117 in July of 2021. And we ticked up again in March of 22 at just over 100. with 105 respectively. Days on market, 22. Okay, so a little bit longer of a waiting period for any seller in Redmond. They're gonna have to wait just a couple days on average. But again, if your home is appropriately priced, it's going to be expected to sell in a relatively short order. And that's no exception for Redmond, just as it is for Bend. So we'll scroll through some of these here. You can see here cash versus conventional financing, and the theme again is that interest rates are up, they're ticking up, they are trending up still. And you can see here from July there was 45 conventional financed transactions, and then we scroll down, we taper down to 31 and 28. And so there's less and less of the people that are financed, that are getting financing for their home purchases, that are actually pulling the trigger and taking advantage of their qualification. They're just waiting on the sidelines right now. Most likely there's still going to be plenty of people that need to sell or buy in the meantime, and so they just have no choice but to deal with the current rates if they're going to be going the financed route. Building permits ticked up again, so 23, then 28, then 32, just like in Bend. Okay, building activities continuing to trend up. Months of inventory. Redmond has a little bit more inventory than Bend, 3 months for 2 months in a row now. So just like we talked about, that's the number of sales, the amount of time it would take to basically sell off all the current homes that are for sale in Redmond. 3 months, if nothing else did come onto the market. Median price per square foot, $298. Okay, that's not something that we don't need to spend too much time on. But if we scroll down, we've got the other small towns in the Central Oregon area that you may be interested in. And we talk a lot about Sisters. We talk about Sun River. We talk about Lapine. We talk about not so much Jefferson County, but we talk a little bit about Prineville and Crook County now. But you can see here that the median home price in Sisters last month was $570,000. And then we had number of total sales was just 12. Okay, so that's why they do the report in this manner versus Bend and Redmond, where they do a month-to-month thing. They just have a smaller volume of sales going on. Sisters is a small town, about 3,000 people. So if you like a small town that's about 20 miles away from Bend and about 15 miles away from Redmond, then Sisters could be right up your alley. Number of sales was 12. Days on market average 18, just kind of similar to Bend and Redmond there. And inventory is 3 months. If we go down to Sun River, which is south of Bend, about 12 miles, what we're going to see here, 921,000. Okay, and so it's a little bit more expensive up there in Sun River. And of course the number of sales is typically very low because there's just not a lot of buying and selling going on in Sun River. It's kind of a resort town, destination place. People go there just for the sake of spending a week or two there in the summertime or wintertime or what have you. But some people do live there permanently. Some people do buy homes as investments, etc. But yeah, smaller volume of activity in these smaller towns. Lapine, second fastest growing town in the Central Oregon area, has a median home price of $425,000. So this gives you a bit of a range here. Bend's at $750, Redmond's at $505. We got Sun River all the way up to $921, and then Sisters comes down to $570. And then of course Lapine is going to be even lower at $425,000. Jefferson County, the primary town there is Madras. We haven't talked a lot about Madras. That's north of here, about 45 miles. And their median home price is $358,000. They have about 10,000 people in that town right now. And then Crook County, of course, Prineville's a great town as well. Their median home price is $425,000 right now. Number of sales last month, 23 for Prineville, Crook County, etc., and then 17 for Jefferson County. There are obviously homes that are sold outside of those two towns, but they're the primary towns in those two counties. So if we go down here, we get another chart here that's similar to the Bend and Redmond version of it, but this is based off of the quarter. Okay, so this is Q3 of 2023, dating all the way back to the first quarter of 2010. Okay, so just don't misunderstand what these charts are all about if you're actually going to look at them. Pause the video and take a look. So you can see here that the Sisters area median home price looks like $189,000. Holy smokes, that's so cheap. But we got to look, and we got to understand that was back in the second quarter of 2010. So obviously a lot's changed. But what's relevant to you today? Okay, quarter three of 2023, $668,000 was the general median home price in the thousands. Okay, and if we continue scrolling down, what we're going to see here, the number of sales for the entire quarter, okay, was just 41 in Sisters, and then our days on market is 18. That's relatively consistent. And then Sun River as well. median home price in quarter three, $965,000. Okay, over the last 3 months of this year, 877 in Q2 and 923 in Q1 of 2023. So probably around 900, just to a little bit above $900,000 for a median home price in Sun River this year. Total units sold, I mean, still not overwhelming numbers. We've got 33 that were sold in Q3, 23 that were sold in Q2, and 20 sold in Q1 of 2023. So a grand total of probably 76-ish, if my quick math is accurate there. 76 units are sold in the entire year so far in the Sun River area, with a median price point just over $900,000. Okay, scrolling down again. Number of days for Sun River is 18 as of this quarter. And then La Pine, very, very active community as well. A lot going on. It's growing, second fastest growing town in the area. Like I talked about earlier, the median home price in the last quarter was $399,000. And if it scales back to the rest of the year, it's still relatively consistent, pretty flat line there for an entire year. 385, just over 400, and then 399 for median home price over the last 3 quarters this year, so year to date, essentially, that's what we're looking at there. And if we continue on, we see that the number of sales in La Pine is going to look like 40 for Q3, 35 for Q2, and 23 for Q1. So this should give you guys a feel, okay, for what's going on in the current state of the market. This basically covers all of the region that Zach and I talk about on the channel here, with the exception of Jefferson County, which we might break into in the future here, but you can see it's part of our tri-county area is Jefferson County. You can see some of the data here for Q3, $359,000 was the median home price for Jefferson County, the Madras area, etc. And then the last one, we'll scroll down quickly here and get to Crook County. Okay, Crook County, median home price, $425. Crook County's got a steady incline. It's just really growing at a very consistent little clip. Reminds me of like the S&P 500 ticker here. It's kind of nice, just kind of steady Eddie, just keeps on going up slowly but surely. No crazy volatile moves here. Just keeps on going up. Just a permanent bull market, right? No, just kidding. I wish. But point is Crook County is growing too. It's a fantastic area. Prineville is an amazing little town, and it's getting a lot of credit and notoriety right now, just based off of some of these big old data centers like Facebook or Amazon or Microsoft or whoever else is going in there, and they're taking up space, and they are putting big old warehouses in their data centers, and that creates jobs, it promotes growth, and that becomes a popular area in its own right. And that's what's happening with Prineville. It's a great small town, just very popular. But yeah, this should give you guys a feel for where we're at in the state of the market right now. Q3, we just finished up, and now we're starting Q4 in 2023. Interest rates are still trending up. It's the highest they've been in a long time. And so we're just going to have to deal with where we're at with the current state of the market. Some things are just simply out of our control, and interest rates are one of them. One thing that we can control, though, is our preparedness for being ready to buy when that opportunity arises, okay? With the things that we have control over, like our personal finances, our credit situation, things like that, our down payment, all that stuff we have more control over than the things that are out of our control, and we will just wait patiently for those to come back down. And when they do, that should create some buzz in the air and some excitement into the market and get a bunch more activity up and running. We just don't know when that day is. But Bend is a very interesting town, as is Redmond and the rest of Central Oregon. There are still going to be people moving here on a regular basis. The primary relocation markets to Bend that people come from are Seattle, Portland, Eugene, Southern California, Northern California, Texas, Arizona, Utah, okay? So a lot of what I just said are regions where the median home price is much higher than it is in Bend or Redmond right now. So people will relocate. They love the area. They love the climate. They love the location. They love all the things that Bend and Redmond have to offer, and yet they're coming here, relocating from a Seattle, from a San Francisco, from an LA, and they know and they feel deep down that they're getting a bargain because they're getting the same style of house that they had in those previous markets, yet they are also giving up the traffic, the lifestyle, the hustle and the bustle of those big markets, and yet they feel like they're getting a deal because they're buying a home that is similar to the one that they're selling down there or up there in Seattle at a significantly lower price point. And that's That's awesome. And that's a great way to have it. And that's why we are always welcoming relocations from those respective regions, because it just makes sense. The shoe fits for them and it fits for us. So we want to help those relocations when they are ready to happen. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video today. If you haven't already done so, please like the video, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Most of our viewers still haven't subscribed to the channel. Maybe drop a comment in the comment section below. Where else can Zach and I shoot content out in the field to give you guys a better understanding of this area? And as always, when it's your time to reach out to us, please do so. It starts with you. You got to call us. You got to text us. You can email us. You can set up a Zoom meeting or that Calendly link that's up in our banner. Click that and set up a Calendly appointment. And we would love to talk to you guys. So when that time comes, we'll be excited to do so. But in the meantime, we will just see you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.